No, Pop. No, Pop. Don't. Don't. Look out behind you!
Police! Police!
You saved my life, Luis. I will never forget that. Never.
Where am I?
My cottage.
What am I doing here?
I drove. Last night, I offered you breakfast.
Right. I remember. I spent the night?
Yeah, you fell asleep.
I better go. My family needs me. I gotta call him. Why didn't you wake me?
I thought it was best to let you sleep. I mean, with the way you were, you wouldn't have been good to anyone anyway. I mean, the grief, the guilt, just wore you out.
Thanks.
Been there myself. I know what you're going through.
Thanks. Thanks for letting me stay the night.
It's the least I could do.
Sheridan, you are not gonna believe... Louise? Ethan.
Good morning, Ethan.
Good morning. Better call my family, let them know I'm all right.
That's a good idea.
Is everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Big deal, but it's a little strange.
He was exhausted. He fell asleep on the couch. There's nothing more to it.
Who fell asleep on your couch?
Luis. Look, I felt bad for the guy. I mean, he was grieving over his father. He hadn't eaten, so I took him home.
And?
And I fed him, and he fell asleep. I put him up for the night. It was the least I could do.
Was it?
Oh, I don't need to defend myself, Julian. I was helping someone in a time of need, nothing more.
Yeah, nothing to you. But what about Luis? I mean, I don't think you understand what the man did for you last night, Sheridan.
I know full well what he did for me. He saved my life.
And he chose you over his father. And that means something.
Look, this isn't a matter of Luis choosing me over his own father. He's a police officer. He's a very moral man. He was only doing what he's trained to do. His father had a gun. He was attempting to kidnap me. And Luis only had time to save one of us. So he saved me. Like he would save anybody else.
So how's he handling all this?
Well, intellectually, he knows he did the right thing. But emotionally, he's torn up by it. I feel for him.
You feel?
Oh, lay off, Julian. You know, there's nothing going on between Luis and me.
Fine. I must confess that having my sister mixed up with some cop who thoroughly dislikes my family is not high on my list of things I want to see happen.
Luis is going through a lot right now. He needs his friends.
And he's got a tough road ahead of him. You know, it sounded like Pilar wanted to take another look at the body. And that's gotta be hard for her.
I don't understand why she would want to do that. I mean, the body is Martin Fitzgerald's, isn't it?
Pilar wants to re-examine the body.
That's what Luis said on the phone.
It sounds like Pilar isn't sure that the body is Martin Fitzgerald's.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Of course it's Martin. Pilar's grasping at straws. Oh, I feel so sorry for her. She's gone through such a terrible ordeal.
You know, I think I'm gonna go over to Pilar's and see how she's holding up.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. Do try to talk some sense into her. Pilar's distraught. Tell her it would be best if she didn't go looking at her dead husband's body. It's so terribly morbid. It'll only further upset her.
We'll do what we can.
Damn Pilar. I'll get it, Renee.
Is there anything more that we can do for you?
Thank you for asking, but the only one who can do anything for me right now is lying in the morgue.
I couldn't help but overhear your phone call at my place earlier. Are you really going to...
My mother wants to look at my father's body one more time.
To make sure it's Martin.
You sure you should do that?
Positive.
Well, my father said it was definitely Mr. Fitzgerald.
Well, my mother isn't sure that the man is my father. So we're going to the morgue to look at him again.
The real Martin Fitzgerald had a small scar behind his ear. I doubt anybody in the world knew about it but me.
I'm gonna call him morgue. Let him know we're coming.
I think I'm gonna step outside, get some air.
What? What do you mean the body's been released to a mortician for cremation?
Cremation?
Mama, did you authorize it?
Of course not.
Listen, there's been a terrible mistake. Our family never authorized a cremation. Say that again. How can that be?
Louise, what is it?
The body's gone.